and being flexible, and it's not a stick. It's more like a fishing rod. It has a lot of
This is our
bend and
message
give
from
to
In
it.
Moderation. Your spine is not a stick.
Your spine is not a stick.
Welcome to In Moderation,
The show where we give you a moderate dose of info, sarcasm, and we already know we're not approved.
Hey, Liam.
Hey, that's me.
Welcome
That's
to
my name.
2025.
Oh, and you know what? Apparently, I'm like the most popular Liam on TikTok now. Do you know how I know
Really?
this?
How do you
Do
know
you know
this?
how I know this? Okay, so I've kept getting tagged in this one video of this woman who is like, every time I look up Liam Payne, who, if you don't know, he passed away recently. He was a singer.
Oh, he's
There's
the
a
one with
lot of,
Direction guy?
I think so. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really listen to his music, but like there's some mystery around his death and there's people being charged and it's all like ongoing right now. I'm not getting into that because I don't know that. But she was like, every time I look up Liam Payne, this shows up, and she was pointing to my account. And it was, so I guess they like archived his account or they memorialized it or whatever word. And now like I'm the next Liam. So it just goes to the next Liam. And now I'm just like the next Liam on TikTok. And it was funny because
That's
people
funny.
kept tagging me like on a side note, Liam's actually kind of nice. You should go follow him. I'm like, oh, thanks everybody. But she had to turn her comments off on that video because there were so many comments. Like it was just, that was very interesting. I was like, well, do I talk about this? I don't even know. What do I even do with this? Like, this is
Well,
just
congratulations on being the top Liam of 2024.
It's kind of a sad way to do it, though. I didn't want to become the top Liam from the most popular Liam passing away and then like possibly murdered. That's bad. But yeah, I guess now that's weird times. We're starting off 2025.
Oh, man. Fuck 2024.
Yeah, right? Yeah, right. Well, hopefully, yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll all see. Anyway, I don't know if you had a way to introduce this, but if you didn't, I'm just going to go ahead and throw that in there. We were discussing what to talk about before this. We started recording this, and we decided to go because we did a nutrition myths like early episode, and people seem to like that. It's fun talking about myths, right? So we never
That was
did
about a year ago, too.
It's like a year ago. I know, mate. We should probably do another. Let us know if you want another nutrition myths, but we haven't done a fitness myths, a fitness version of that. So I pulled up this article. It's like, this medical center, top 10 fitness myths that may be holding you back. And I guess we'll find out if they're actually holding you back. So I'm gonna read them, and then Rob, I haven't even read these to you, so I'm gonna read them and then get your take on them. We're to go over them. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So myth number 1: morning workouts are better. That's the whole thing. That's pretty much.
That's an interesting topic because, I mean, technically, you supposedly do have more energy in the morning, but for a lot of people, working out in the morning just feels like shit.
Yeah, I get that.
And so realistically, the best time to work out is whatever works for you, whatever feels best for you, whatever fits your life. It's definitely not worth trying to fit a morning workout in if it's going to make you feel like crap the rest of the day, and it's not worth it for.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously work out whatever time works best for you. Like that's what we always talk about: nutrition, fitness. Like it's all about like what you can do. But I was looking up before this just because I was kind of curious. Like there is like some research showing that like there may be benefit for working out like earlier in the morning. I found this one study. I like to cite studies because then I sound smart. Effects of exercise timing on sleep architecture and nocturnal blood pressure in pre-hypertensives, where they actually found that working out in the morning. In aerobic exercise may enhance nocturnal blood pressure changes and quality of sleep. Because I mean, exercise is really good for your sleep. I feel like that's something that's not brought up enough. But I mean, it's according to some research, maybe working out in the morning is better. Here's my take. I feel like the reason for working out in the morning is just because you get something done and accomplished, right? Because that's what we talk about, like getting something done in the morning. You just kind of steamroll it. Whereas like if you work out right before you go to bed, like you're kind of doing it at the end of your day. maybe you haven't done anything, or maybe you accomplished a bunch of things. I don't know. We always say set yourself up for success. So if you have time in the morning, I think that's a great way to do it. But of course, there's many people that are like, the only time I can do it is 8 p.m. and I go to bed at 10. Well, then that's fucking better than nothing. That's good. The best time is the time you can do it. But I like to work out. I've been recently working out because I take Oakley to Child Watch at the YMCA, and I get my workout in the morning, and then like I feel a little bit more energy for the rest of the day. I find that I've done workouts that are like 3 in the morning when I work nights, and then I go to bed at like 5. I think I prefer the morning workout if I can do that, right? It's all about if you can.
It's at least worth trying to see if it works for you.
I think give it a shot. Like if you have the ability to do a morning workout, do that and see how you feel. Even if it's a short one, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, see if that helps you for the rest of your day. Let's see. Myth number 2, you can target parts of your body for reduction/weight loss. What do you think?
That has been, that has been so long debunked, but we keep seeing it over and over again.
Because it makes sense, man. It makes sense. If I do crunch, then I get hurt stomach, hurt abs, hurt. So abs hurt means fat burn. Fat burn means visible abs. Like I think it just it doesn't make sense, but like it makes sense in your mind because you're like, well, it burns there, so I should be burning fat there.
Yeah.
Right?
Like a lot of how we mobilize and burn fat comes down to blood flow. And so when you were working out a specific body part, you were increasing the blood flow to the muscle, and you kind of have this thought that, hey, there's more blood flow to that area. Maybe it's also increasing the blood flow to the fat to actually mobilize the fat, but it's not. The blood flow to the muscle and blood flow to the fat are completely different.
Yeah, the only way to reduce fat, like, there's the whole cortisol face and whatnot, which, like, unless you have Cushing's syndrome, you don't have cortisol face. And, the only way to really remove fat is just to lose fat overall. And it sucks because the last bit of fat is usually like the lower abdominals. And that's what people want, right? It's like, what about this last little bit of fat? Like, you have to lose it overall. And let me tell you, when you get to that point, it's going to fucking suck. Your body's going to fight you hard for that last little bit of fat. You can lose it, but then, like, are you going to be able to stay at that and keep that? Oh, gosh. So, yeah, don't do
a major reason why that's one of the last areas is because the fat in that area does not have a lot of blood flow to it. And so it gets deposited there and it doesn't get mobilized.
Well, so don't be doing crunches to get a six pack. Let me tell you that much. It's not going to do anything. It's basically not going to do anything. You just kind of have to lose fat overall, which stinks. I got Oakley coming in here. Okay. Hello. She wants to get on some fitness myths. How you doing, girl? What do you think?
What's up, Oakley?
Myth number 3, skipping meals will help you lose weight. What do you think about that?
I mean, if you're skipping a meal, thus lowering your caloric intake, that would help you lose weight. But if you're skipping a meal and then just making up for it later, obviously,
like intermittent fasting helps people lose weight, and that's kind of where you skip meals, right?
Yeah, and of course, that's just a time-based restriction of calorie intake.
Because, like, to lose weight, you need to do some form of you need to restrict calories to lose weight. You need to go below your maintenance calories. You need to be in a calorie deficit. So skipping a meal might be able to do that. But I think what they're trying to get at is you skip breakfast and then you're so hungry by the time lunch comes around.
Yeah, you make up for it.
Yeah, you just kind of go ham and eat a whole bunch of stuff. Whereas, like, if you actually had a breakfast with a little bit of fiber and protein, you feel more satiated, and then you don't go crazy. And also, like, you get some energy, so then you might be able to do that workout. Like, if you didn't get breakfast, then you might not have the energy to actually do a workout. So I am a fan of eating, fucking hashtag hot takes, but I like having, meals throughout the day and not doing like the, intermittent fasting. But, some people, they say they do it and they have more energy that way. So again,
I would never be able to do intermittent fasting. I like small meals throughout the day. Yeah. I'm not a big eater, so I usually have just like several 5 or 6 smaller meals throughout the day.
Yeah, I totally agree. I just feel like, and I'm not super stuffed. Like when you do the intermittent fasting, like I've seen these, like they do the OMAD diets, only 1 meal a day. And then you see the meal they eat and it's like, 2,500 calories in 1 meal. And they're just like stuffing themselves. And I'm like, I feel tired watching this. And so I'd much rather have, quote unquote, normal meals. Okay. So yeah, like you can skip a meal if you want, but like it's
If you're skipping meal for the sake of skipping a meal, you're probably going to make up for it in your later meals. Like the
yeah.
only
So I
way
wouldn't.
skipping a meal or intermittent fasting is going to work is if you are actually monitoring your caloric intake on the other meals.
Yeah, exactly. So just like doing that is not going to go, probably not going to go super well. Anyway,
Yeah.
what about number 4? Running will destroy your knees.
I mean, maybe if you're like a marathon runner that is running constantly all the time, I could see that. But for the most part, your body's pretty good at adapting to stressors. And usually stressors like that actually tend to help with bone density and strength.
Yeah, this is one of those ones that actually I've heard a lot, and I always kind of just like it makes sense, right? Like pressure on the knee, therefore knee bad. When you just think of it that way. But looking up, kind of, I was just looking before this. I was looking up to see like, oh, what's the research saying? Like most of it seemed to support like it might actually, you know, not like ultra marathon running, but like running it might
Yeah.
actually strengthen your knees. And like there was it was a survey, but like 3,800 recreational runners who do marathons and whatnot, and they found no association between increased risk for knee or hip arthritis and the number of years someone had been running, or the number of marathons completed.
I think
So
there's also an association there because people who do marathons and stuff, you're more likely to see them have some sort of accident or injury because they are actively doing it more than other people. And that's not necessarily the result of the bone or anything being injured by running over time. That's just, hey, they had an injury. It happens.
yeah, if we can get that. Yeah, I got some quinoa bread in the oven. Don't mind me. My wife's just going to get some my quinoa bread. Yeah, and Oakley's like, no, don't leave. The quinoa bread will be fine. Um, so yeah, I was actually kind of surprised by that. But like also you have to do the running correctly, right? So like people who lift weights in the gym, like lifting weights is actually protective, but a lot of people lift weights incorrectly and then therefore hurt themselves, right? So I feel like there's got to be something the same with running. Maybe you're not running in the right shoes or whatever it is, and yeah, you get injured, and then you just kind of think, well, it's because of the running. So and that's
Yeah, and conversely, we also see that with the spine a lot. People think that lifting heavy or stuff can be
yeah.
dangerous for the spine, whereas your spine is actually pretty damn good at adapting and being flexible. And it's not a stick. It's more like a fishing rod. It has a lot of
This is our
bend and
message
give
from
to
In
it.
Moderation. Your spine is not a stick.
Your spine is not a stick.
I like that. It's actually pretty good. But yeah, like, lifting weights generally pretty protective. It's really more like, you're sedentary for a long time, but that's going to be worse for your joints and your bones and all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
what is it? Like, there's like Muay Thai fighters and whatnot. And like, they have those like sticks they hit against their knees and that like builds up their knees, like, or knees, or actually I said shins is what I meant to say. They build up their shins by, hitting it with like a stick over and over again, or they'll just like kick concrete. And you're like, damn, they've built it up over the years.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger kind of works in this scenario. Not in everyone, certainly not in everyone. Many things that don't kill you just make you much weaker.
Yep.
Okay, so that was number 4. What's number 5? Oh, a pound of muscle weighs more than a pound of fat. Oh shit, this is one of my favorites. Why is a pound of muscle not weigh more than a pound of fat?
It's almost like a pound is a pound.
It's almost like a unit of measurement is a unit of measurement.
Yeah.
It's almost like a pound of feathers weighs the same as a pound of bricks. It's a lot more feathers. It's going to be a lot of feathers. But eventually you'll get to a pound of feathers.
Yeah, there's a huge difference between density and weight.
Right.
Why
do people say it weighs more? Like, why do people, use that adage?
Because they look at the visual representation, and the pound of fat is usually this giant blob.
Yes.
Whereas the pound of muscle is this, it's not very big. It's very thin and sinewy. And so they look at that and they're like, oh, the pound of fat obviously weighs more. Look how big it is.
Yeah. I mean, and so, on your body, it's going to look different. People who are more fit tend to look more, I don't know what's the word, trim or whatever, I guess, toned. I hate that word, but like, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, I think that's why people think that, but no, a pound is a pound. A calorie is a calorie, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, number 6 leads kind of from number 5. Um, Unused muscle turns to fat. Unused
Um,
muscle turns to fat.
that's an
When
interesting
the
one.
muscle, when you stop using it, it's just like, we don't need us anymore to lift weights. Now we need us to just be energy. Like it just converts straight to fat.
Wow, that's mind blowing. The idea of that muscle just, yeah, we're just gonna be fat now.
Oakley's making an emergency call. Sorry. Hold on. Don't call the police. We don't need the police. Well, we don't need the police. Okay. Not right now. Maybe in the future. So you should probably know how to
I don't
talk.
know, if you don't get that quinoa bread out of the oven in time, you might need the
We
fire
got the
department.
quinoa bread. It's quinoa and chia seeds. I'm sure it's going to taste delicious. I'm sure it looks terrible, but it makes for a good video. Also, in the video, she pronounced it quinoa the whole time. Quinoa. So obviously, I have
Quinoa.
to have fun with that. Yeah, quinoa.
Oh, that's going to get a lot of comments on the video.
Oh, it's all the comments on the video are just like, and she also ate it raw, tried to eat it raw and be like, it's not good. I'm like, this is like 10 out of 10 rage bait. I need to use this.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
perfect. That
Right,
is a
exactly.
perfect video
Pronounce
right
it
there.
wrong, eat it wrong. Like, I'm telling you, the videos that still get the most views on like bulk and breakfast, you remember that whole trend, are ones that are still doing it wrong. They're just eating like fucking carrots and like just pepper, or just eating like vegetables like dipped in ranch, and they get like millions and millions of views. And I'm like, well, I don't mind using a little rage bait, but that seems like a little maybe that's a little bit much. Maybe I won't continue
A little much, yeah.
but yeah, I'll try this bread that's not going to taste good. Um, what was I talking? Muscle turns to fat. No, I think
Muscle.
people think that because, and hear me out here, like you see all these like athletes when they're younger, they're all like, fit and muscular and whatnot. And then they stop competing in their sport. And like they were probably eating a lot during their, like when they're playing, right? Because, they're
Yeah.
like expending a lot of energy.
Yeah,
So they
athletes
continue those
need a lot of
habits
energy.
afterwards, but they stop exercising, or at least as much. And so they put on a little extra weight. They lose some muscle because, again, they're probably not doing as much
Yeah.
as they were before. So like, I think that's, they're like, oh, look, he stopped doing the footballs, and then he got fat. So muscle turns to fat. I think that's I feel like that's where people are getting that from. That's just a pure guess though.
And maybe a little bit of people need to feel like they have an excuse of some sort. So if they stop working out, then they have that excuse of, oh, my muscle is turning into fat. That's why I'm getting a little fatter.
Interesting. I can see that. But no, muscle doesn't turn to fat. You can lose muscle by not, if you stop lifting weights, you stop doing any sort of resistance training, and then you can gain fat. Those are just two separate things.
Yeah. And it's actually pretty hard to lose muscle. Like you have to detrain for quite a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, it doesn't start until like weeks afterwards. And even then it's a small amount, and you'll gain it back. Like, I don't know, satellite cells and all that bullshit.
Yeah. The satellite cells that you've recruited, they stay recruited. So it's easy to gain back.
Myonuclei and all the other things that make me sound smart. Yeah. You still got all that and you can build that muscle back quickly, or quicker, I should say.
Yeah.
Than when you first had to put it on. This next one on number 7 isn't even a fitness myth. This is a nutrition myth. And what the heck?
Gasp.
Community center, whatever the hell this. Myth number 7 is fat-free foods are better for you.
I mean, they're less calorie.
Yeah,
that's going to make it easier to diet. That's about it.
Yes. Calories, we talked about this before, 9 calories per gram for fat, 4 for carbs and protein. So carbs and protein have fewer calories than fat does. But, like those super low fat diets, that was like 90s. I feel like, we, at this point, we've swung back so far the other way. Now it's all fat. Now fat is good, and sugar makes you fat or converts to fat easier, or whatever the hell people say. Right. Yeah. But yeah, like you need fat in your diet. Without it, your hormones aren't going to function properly. But like to go so low fat, you need to go like what, like 10% fat in order to actually have like hormonal issues. You're supposed to get what, like 20% of your diet from fat? You'd have to go
Yeah, give or
pretty
take.
low.
Yep.
You have to go like in order to get that low in fat. Like you're talking like bodybuilders who are eating like chicken breast and rice,
And
and like
rice.
that's
Yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah.
how do you go that low? Like even these or maybe the fruitarians, but even they eat like avocado. So like I don't, and they'll eat
Yeah.
nuts too. So I don't even like, how do you even go that low fat unless your diet is like super restrictive and you're just eating like gummy bears or something? Like I don't even know. No. But yeah, so
Yeah.
fat,
The candy diet.
the candy diet. Don't recommend. It's fun for a day maybe. After that, it's no more fun. So yes, you need fat. Fat's good. Just try, focus on mono and polyunsaturated fats. Those usually come from plants. Limit your saturated fats. That just generally comes from animals. It's totally fine to have them, but obviously you can
Yeah.
have too much of anything.
If it's
Trans
solid
fats, but
at
like,
room temperature, it's saturated.
yeah, so your butters and your tallows and stuff, even though apparently that's what's the only thing we should be shoveling down our gullets now from all the stuff I get tagged in, and seed oils are horrible. But in
Yeah.
general, try and get lots of plant fats, your avocados, your nuts, your seeds, all those things. Totally fine to have animal fats. And then I guess limit or trans fats, but like, we kind
I
of
mean,
outlaw in the
trans
States.
fats are pretty much outlawed all over the world at
Yeah.
this point,
So you get some
except in
from
the
like
UK,
frying.
because
It's weird.
Europe apparently does everything better than America, but they still haven't outlawed trans
Whenever
fats.
I bring that up, they're like, "No, the UK is different than Europe." Like, wait, all right, you're just reaching now, okay? Like, what
Now
the
you're just
hell?
moving the goalpost.
You're moving the goalpost. What the fuck, man? Okay, so fat, you need fat. Fat's good. Just obviously too much of it can put you in a calorie surplus. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Myth number 8 is internet hacks can help you lose weight. I guess
Internet.
like
Wow.
internet hacks can help you lose weight. I mean, I get, but like, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like a lot of these, oh, well, she locked me out of my phone. I got to try again in 4 minutes. So, boy, howdy. So yeah, the thing, like a lot of these hacks, like a lot of them will help you lose weight, but it's always just like in the short term, it's like,
Yeah.
juice cleanses and all these different like weird diets. And it's like, yeah, short term, it'll help you lose a little weight, but there's no like hack that here. Okay. You know what? I'm going to try and make something out of nothing here. Like the only hack that like, I'm like, okay, it's a hack. I am going to say that this is a hack, and that is artificial sweeteners. Hear me out here. Listen. We all have sweet cravings, right? We're humans. We like things that are sugary and fatty. Those two things together. That's that's where you like all those cookies and cakes and ice creams and all that stuff. But like artificial sweeteners, like despite what you hear from all the gurus, are totally fine for 99 plus percent of people, unless you have like rare genetic disorders like PKU. And so like you get that craving curbed. You curb that craving, and without any of the calories.
Like that craving for root beer.
And yeah, like root beer. Oakley right now has a diet soda. She's got a Pepsi Zero. I just have in the room. I also have some what is it? Poppy sent me. They use stevia, which apparently that's better. But yeah, like I feel like artificial sweeteners are sort of a hack, and like the research
That's
shows
a fair
that, like,
argument.
people who use artificial sweeteners, like they generally curbs their sweet tooth a little bit, and they generally consume fewer calories, and they'll lose more weight. So
I think that's a fair argument.
that's the only thing I could see being like, all right, this is kind of a hack that is a hack. I don't know what else.
In terms of fitness,
do you have to pick a hack? Pick one that is, say something. Give me one that you say like, okay, this is a hack. Like that's
well. Before I get to what I think is a hack, anything that's usually claimed as being a fitness hack is usually just like a flavor of the month type thing. So some sort of new research came out that showed this exercise was a little bit better than that exercise under these specific circumstances and these untrained people, and people just take that and run with it.
Right. Because that's how you get content. Like, you get views, like, because it's the same thing over and over. So like when there's a new study, breaking news, turns out, hit cardio now is everything, and you only have to do hit cardio for 3 minutes, and then the afterburn effects, burn 1,000 pounds of fat, whatever I'm talking about. So okay, but I'm gonna say like foods. I'm gonna say this. Okay, all right. Well, I gotta pick something, so I'm gonna pick something else. Foods with added fiber, so like the high fiber wraps. I'm gonna say that's a hack because, like, it's like those wraps are like 60 calories, man, and you get like 10 grams of fiber. Like you can throw in, a protein, a veggie, whatever you want. That's to me. So I'm picking two hacks. I'm picking artificial sweeteners and like those like high fiber wraps. And then, you can always, because like I don't want to be like vegetables. That's a hack. Like it's not a fucking hack. It's just vegetables. It's fruit, whatever it is.
If I had to pick one exercise that I would be like, this is an exercise that is a life hack that everybody should be doing.
Okay.
Jefferson curls.
What's a Jefferson curl? Is that
a Jefferson curl is kind of like a stiff leg deadlift, except you actually round your back.
You round your back forward and then you curl towards you?
You round it like there's no arm curl.
Oh. Wait, what is
like
what the
so
hell?
you're starting from a standing position. And then you think about curling down from your head. So the head curls and then the lower back rounds and curls down.
I'm looking this up right now. Jefferson. Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's probably not anything what you thought it was going to look like.
No, this is something else.
But going back to what I was saying, where your spine is not a stick, the Jefferson curl is very helpful for exercising and developing the muscles along the spine. Because we never work the spine in its bent position. We're always afraid to do that.
Okay. So I feel like you got to do this pretty light. I see most people do
you're doing this light. You're not doing this deadlift.
Small kettlebell or
start with like a 10-pound kettlebell. Yeah. Personally, I've worked my way up to 50. That's about as heavy as I'll go. 50-pound kettlebell.
Interesting. I would give this a try, but yeah, I'm starting off with like no weight.
It's going to increase your flexibility because you're going to go from only being able to go down as far as your knees to being able to go past your toes, and it's going to increase your strength in that entire range
with your legs straight.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Well, there's
I'm at the point where I've introduced every single client I've had to them, and they're like, always keep this in my programming because this exercise is fucking amazing.
I don't have like a weightlifting like hack or anything like that. I mean, it's all, no, I got nothing. I like rows. That's my, I'm just going to say rows because I like them. Not a hack. I just enjoy them. That's my hack.
I mean, the hack is doing something you enjoy, right?
Like that's the hack, is doing the exercise you like, and I like rows. Okay, so we only have 2 left. Myth number 9 is assisted exercise is not efficient. I think that's a good myth. I think it's a good one to actually tackle.
Assisted exercise is not efficient.
Assisted exercise, because like here's the thing. I see a lot of people, and like, listen, let me just straight up say, if you're working out, that's awesome. You're doing much better than someone who's not doing anything. But I will see people doing like pull-ups on a machine that does have the assisted function, but their pull-ups are like really short range of motion, just kind of above the bar, right below, above the bar, right, like just really small and jerky. And I'm like, if you would just like use the assist. Like I use the assist. I can do pull-ups without the assist, but I still use it just because I'm trying to get like a really good range of motion, and I'm trying to like slow and controlled, everything. So I'll still use it. I like having the assist so you can really.
Yeah, I love doing band assisted pull-ups.
Yeah.
And then you just do a nice, very controlled, slow motion, and you can feel the entire thing.
Yeah, as opposed to like just like kipping above the bar right below. So like I really like if you have like an assisted machine, I think it's great. My only issue with the bands is like I want like you want to get that stretch at the bottom, and with the bands, the most help it gives you is at the bottom.
Yeah.
Right. Because the more it stretches, right, the more assistance it's giving you. So when it stretches all the way down, I'm getting the most help, and that's kind of the reverse of what I want, where I kind of want the more help at the top and then like less help at the bottom, so that I can really get that stretch of the muscle. But like it's still good. Like it doesn't, I think assisted exercise have a really good place.
Yeah, definitely.
But okay, so yeah, assisted exercise, absolutely. I think it's great. And it's a great place to start too. Like seriously, like when you start out, yeah, just,
Yeah,
it guides you through.
the only
Yeah,
problem with assisted exercises, like you said at the start, is if people are using them as a mechanism for cheating
I guess,
to
yeah.
shorten their rep range or range of
Yeah, but
motion or anything.
I feel like
But
they would do that without it
yeah,
either.
they're
So like
probably
they're
going to
gonna
do
do
that
it
without it
without.
anyway.
So like, use it and just try and get, a nice full range of motion and, slow and controlled, all that good
Like,
stuff.
yeah,
I
really use the assist to
use the
let
assist.
yourself feel that entire range of motion.
Exactly. Absolutely. Assisted exercise, love it. Myth number 10, last one. Okay, this is the last one. An effective workout needs to be at least 60 minutes long. That's a common, yeah. I mean, that one, I don't think that one will ever die. I think that will always kind of stick around. It has to be an hour. If you're
Yeah,
not in the
yeah,
gym for an hour, then
it's
you're doing
exactly an
nothing.
hour.
Yeah, if no more. Yeah.
I
No,
think, yeah,
59
it's
minutes, useless.
and that really just stems from the fact that we like to break our day up into hour blocks.
I could see that. Or at least like half hour blocks. Like at least because
Yeah,
there's something like 22 minutes. Like what the fuck are you doing with 22 minutes? Like it has to be has to 30, 60, 90, 120. This is how we work.
but yeah, like you look at TV shows, we break them up into, well, these days it's 15-minute blocks, but it used to be like 30 minutes or an
Yeah, I
hour.
guess. Right. So yeah, I mean like hour most of my work a lot of my workouts aren't even an hour. Like if I can get there for 45 minutes, I feel good, but like 20, 30 minutes you still get a really solid workout in. Hey,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, and hell, like 8 minutes is better than no minutes. I see many people like, oh, I did an 8 minute workout. I'm like, what'd you do yesterday? 0. Okay, eight's a lot better.
Oh
So,
yeah.
so yeah, it does
Yeah.
not have to be an
Doing
hour.
doing something is better than nothing. And like on those days where you're not sure you're feeling it and you go into the gym and you can do 5 minutes. And if that's as much as you felt like doing, you can quit. If you feel like doing more, do a little bit more. You don't have to go for an hour. There's no rule you have to be there for an hour.
Okay, so I did see AI popped up a bunch more of these. So I'm just going to quickly say, lifting weights makes you bulky, of course, always. No, it does not. There are many people that try and get bulky and don't get bulky, especially
Maybe
women.
after
Like you're not
10
going to get
years worth of intense
holy
lifting.
shit, you're not going to get bulky lifting weights. Don't worry about it. No pain, no gain. You can definitely get gains without pain. Pain's probably bad. Pain's your body way
Pain's
of telling
typically
you.
bad, yes.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you're tired, your muscles are fatigued. Like, oh boy, that was tough. But pain, yeah. So that seems to be most of it. Pound of muscle, yeah. The rest of them are pretty much the same. Okay, oh, one nutrition one before we go. This last one, just because I saw it pop up. Somebody was talking about it on TikTok. I saw this is nutrition, but brown rice and white rice. That's one I still see go around a lot. Like I still see going around. People like, don't get the white rice, get the brown rice. So much better for you. Like, man, like
Eh,
white rice is enriched, so it's got other vitamins, so they're a little bit different. And brown rice has 1 gram of fiber. So I just like to bring that one up because people think like, oh, I have to eat brown rice. No, 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 no. I almost always eat white rice. Occasionally, I like a dish with brown rice, so I'll go with it. But like white rice, totally fine option. Now, if you
yeah.
are trying to lose weight, I will say potatoes. I'm definitely go potatoes if you're
Yeah.
trying to lose weight. But white rice is great and good vessel for adding other things. Eat 2 bites of a vegetable. That'll make up the difference in the fiber from white to
Literally.
brown rice.
Yeah.
Like literally 2-3 bites of a vegetable, and you'll get the difference.
Yeah, I was saying this on the live stream the other day. Was somebody was asking about like superfoods and stuff, and I'm like, look,
Yeah.
superfoods, they just have a little bit more vitamins or minerals in them. They are so overblown.
Yeah.
And if your diet is like, if your diet is good, then that little bit of extra nutrition, little bit of extra vitamin and minerals isn't going to make a difference. And if it does make a
Yeah.
difference, you need to be assessing your entire diet, not worrying about superfoods, because your diet is shit at that point.
It's very funny. Like when I started in nutrition, like going to school for it, I was like, I had this full idea that like, oh, you could cure so many things with nutrition. Like if you get the right nutrition, you'll be able to solve this and that. And the more I learned, the more I was like, oh no, like it's actually a lot less. Like nutrition plays a big factor, and excess body fat due to excess calories can cause issues, and lack of nutrients can have its own problems. Yada yada, obviously. But like once you reach a certain point where your diet's relatively like nutritious, adding all these like kale smoothies and whatnot ain't doing shit. Basically, is my point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna finish up here. Do you have any more thoughts here, Rob?
I think we covered quite a lot of stuff. And you've got Oakley yelling at you. I've got Pippin yelling at me.
Okay, the cat yelling us to leave to go. All right, I'm gonna go get my workout in tomorrow because the gym was closed because of New Year's, but that's fine. We just come back tomorrow and do it then. It's okay.
Exactly.
And we'll see you. We won't see you at all because it's a podcast. We don't even look at anything. What am I even saying? Yes, I'm leaving. You will hear from us next week when we figure out what's going on.
Especially from Oakley.
And from Oakley as well. Say okay, bye, Oakley. She's just staring.
She's just eating your armchair.
She's eating my armchair. She's just chewing on the chair of my arm. Like, get out, be done.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's the sign of being done. All right. Good night, everybody.
Okay, bye. Hey, wasn't that a great time listening to the podcast? You were just, I'm assuming you were just listening to In Moderation. So if you go ahead and hit the 5-star button, is that a thing? The like button?
That's a thing.
No.
Yep.
The like button
5
on YouTube.
stars.
If you're on YouTube, hit the like button. Not the dislike button. That's a bad button. The
Bad
like
button.
Bad
Don't
button.
touch.
Hit all the other buttons. The share. You can go check out
all those things.
Subscribe. Go check out our Patreon. Yeah. We do have a Patreon. It's free to join if you want, or you could give us some money. That'd be really cool, like $1 or $2. It doesn't matter. Whatever you have.
That's where you'll find all the news for this.
We're super appreciative. You can find all sorts of other stuff there. We do giveaways. I think sometimes.
Sometimes.
All that. Yeah, absolutely. So, peace.